please welcome the COO of Traveloka, Alfan Hendro, and the CMO of Traveloka, Christian Suwarna, in conversation with Skift Editor-at-Large, Raini Hamdi.
Hello, Alfan and Christian. Thank you for joining us today from your base in Jakarta. I'm very excited to interview you both. Traveloka is a online travel unicorn, and there's also that report last week that you have picked JP Morgan Chase to help explore a public listing in the US via a SPAC. A few names were mentioned, including Provident Acquisition, Kova, and Bridgetown. So can you share with us the progress of your IPO, please?
Thank you, Raini, for having us. Very happy actually to be here to share some updates on what's going on in Traveloka. So Traveloka has been, we are currently pursuing public listing, and we are evaluating a number of options actually. So that includes IPO, but as you know also a number of SPACs actually has approached Traveloka. It's very exciting. We see very strong interest, and we think actually that reflects the strength of Southeast Asia tech ecosystem. So we are very excited. We continue to be in conversations with explore this number of options.
Right. Do you think something will happen this year, and is the timing right?
We will let you know when something is happening. We aim actually to do this the soonest possible, while also making sure that we are doing it right, of course.
Right. Okay. What is the underlying reason for your IPO?
Yeah. So we see that right now for Traveloka, we are currently doing well in our travel core business in our key markets at the moment. We see there's a lot of opportunities we can pursue in other key focus areas like financial services, and we also see that there's opportunity to pursue other markets as well. So we see that going public actually can help us to gain the support from the public market, enabling the resources for us to expand further.
So I guess it's about expansion then. And
Yes.
you were saying that there are opportunities to go into other businesses like financial services, which you have done or are doing, and also other markets. When you say other markets, what do you mean? Is that wider in Southeast Asia or?
Yeah. So yes, we have been. We started in Indonesia. We have been expanding in Southeast Asia, a number of countries right now. We see we can deepen our exposure in these markets. So that's something that we are very interested to do. Also in that we see there are learnings we gain from this market in Southeast Asia, essentially a large developing markets whereby a lot of infrastructures are not well established. So we get to work on the ground, creating the infrastructures. And we see these are the learnings that we can apply in some other markets as well. So essentially, we are open to the possibilities as long as what we see interesting.
Actually, I'm just curious, how big is the Indonesian market to your business? Is it 50% of business?
Indonesia is our core market right now. Along with, we have the Thailand, Vietnam, are also our key markets that we see growing very well. Right now, Indonesia is still our largest market.
I understand that Traveloka is going deeper into existing markets rather than going wider in Southeast Asia. Can you talk a little bit to us about this strategy?
Yes, so we see, first of all, we started from the travel, right? Traveloka, we start from travel. And as we grow the business, we see last year, of course, that COVID has affected the business significantly, but we took the moment actually to strengthen the business. So right now, our travel business actually is quite strong, is doing well. The recovery take place faster than we expected. And so that we also take this opportunity to grow our other business offerings, especially financial service is showing very good progress. I think this is something that we want to invest very heavily on, especially with the COVID, and there's a very high interest of traveling post-COVID. So enabling by having this financial service, we hope to enable the travels better. And we are also looking forward to offer financial service to our merchant partners as well, which I'm sure many of them see that that's something that will be useful or helpful for them due to the COVID situations. So that's one thing that we see very exciting. The way we look at this is coming from our customer journey. So as we grow with more customers, we see that they come to require more services. So that's something that we look into, offering more and more services over the years, as long as actually it fits the customer journey.
I see. Okay, but okay. So before we let's talk about customer service. Financial services and experience, lifestyle. Also, I think you've gone into that a little bit more later. But I just wonder, as you go into new businesses, because now you describe yourself as a technology company for users to buy a wide variety of products, of which travel is only one, right? You ventured into, like you say, financial services, lifestyle, and also food delivery. So when you look at future earnings, what will be travel's contribution versus the other business units, you think?
Thank you. So travel, we start from travel, and we will continue to invest in travel. That's one thing. While it has been a strong business, it provides actually a leverage for us to grow our other business lines. Financial service is a very exciting one that we see recently. So buy now, pay later, I think it's something that is getting a lot of attention currently. And we've been doing this for a moment now. And with our buy now, pay later, we have actually facilitated loan transactions of over 6 million transactions. So that's something.
How does it work, Alfan?
Yes.
How does buy now, pay later work? Is it micro loans to buy for businesses? How does it work?
Yes. So we provide credit facilities for our users to purchase our travel and lifestyle products.
I see. I see. So that's doing very well, you were saying. Yeah.
It is doing very well, and we see this is an exciting segment. So if we look at markets like Indonesia, for example, there's actually Indonesia has quite a sizable, has a very large bank populations. About half of Indonesian population are banked, but they do not have credit facilities. Yeah,
so
okay. 4% actually has credit facilities. We see this is something that we can tap into. We can actually provide credit facilities for them in purchasing our travel and lifestyle services. And this is not only unique for Indonesia. Other markets in Southeast Asia are also similar. Vietnam, for example, is 11 market credit penetrations. So that's something that we look forward to in helping the users discover more of the world with the help of this financial service.
Right. What about food delivery? Is there a big future for food delivery when this sector is dominated by the likes of Gojek, Grab, Foodpanda in Southeast Asia?
Yes. So thank you, Raini. So for food delivery, we see this is something that we like to do to again to help our customers' journey. Food itself is not new for us, so we have been providing services for dine-in for a while. So Then food delivery, in a way, is another step into this direction. So we have the relationship with the merchants. Now we provide the delivery as well. And one thing that we see about food delivery is that with the support from our core travel business and the growing financial service, we actually have the time and resource on that give us flexibility on choosing how or when we want to grow the food delivery. So it's something that we actually are looking forward to. We see this food delivery as a crucial, important service we want to provide for our users, and yet we have the flexibility to kind of turn on, turn off how aggressive or how fast actually we want to grow the service.
Yeah, I see. So at the moment, it's financial services that is fastest growing, I suppose. And travel, as you mentioned just now, is still strong, right? Let's talk about lifestyle. And I think this is also under Christian, who is the CMO of Traveloka. But on top of that, he wears a double hat and overseas experience, Traveloka experience, right, Chris? Yeah. So I think now one can buy COVID PCR and antigen tests through Traveloka. Also health screening, also dental services, and I can also arrange for flowers to be delivered to me through Traveloka, which I did last Sunday, Valentine's Day. I forced my husband to do it. My question is there a limit to what lifestyle services can be offered on Traveloka platform? Maybe Chris, you might want to answer this.
Sure. Thanks, Raini, for having us. I think there's definitely, we don't want to set ourselves to a limit to what we can offer, right? We always root back our desires to what we feel our customers' needs are requesting at the moment. Experiences or things to do, for one, is a very, very large category. But we also don't want to be a recklessly just entering into different categories, because every category requires sort of different take on it to become very effective on it. But I think one thing that's for sure, we always try to figure out what are these different needs that are present in the market, and also assessing it honestly within ourselves if we do have a value add that we can bring for our consumers in certain spaces, and of course prioritizing it appropriately so that we don't do things half-heartedly.
Right. Okay. So, but because you are into so many different things now, like financial services, food delivery, and all that, might there be a risk that Traveloka would become more lifestyle and less travel as you go along in this evolution?
Um,
Or is that the plan? Maybe is that?
we have actually, obviously we have evolved from the traditional OTA per se, right? And we have been able to do so with a relentless focus on our consumers' interests. But that doesn't take away our focus and our strength in core travel, as Alfan has stated, right? A lion's share of our business is still upheld by the travel business, and they're the ones that is, very much heading towards profitability, and readily, especially because of the pandemic and how we are able to turn around the crisis into an opportunity for us to ready ourselves. But at the same time, we don't want to be just focused on one area and forgetting that there are other pieces of problems that perhaps we can extend our core capabilities to solve for our customers. And that's why we brave ourselves and encourage ourselves to do things well, not just in experience, but also in Traveloka Eats, in financial services. So I think for us, we'll see how it evolves. But I think all of the plans that we do have for this year will definitely strengthen us, not just on the core area, but also on the future growth levers. And we're ready to make short-term compromises so that, so long as from the long-term perspective, the shareholder value is really optimized.
Okay, so I keep hearing that travel is still or has rebound for you. How so? Because can you give me an example? I mean, or what has led to that rebound with Traveloka?
So from my opinion, I think 2021, we adopt a optimistic perspective of how 2021 will turn out to be, right? Compared to 2020. I think with the advent of vaccines, with the administration of it also being aggressively chastened by the governments, we are more convinced that this would be a recovery year, not just for Traveloka, but also for the tourism industry in general. And so we're very much optimistic about that. And with the COVID vaccine being administered, inevitably people's confidence to travel will rebound back. And all these signals combined, right? Vaccine being available, pent up demand from people being cooped up in their home for a long time, because you know that the people cannot travel or maybe challenged to travel at this point, but the innate desire are definitely present and in fact have been building up. And with the relaxation of the border closures as well, as situation gets more, I guess, predictable with the travel bubbles, we really believe that the business will go back to normal and even stronger versus pre-COVID. Right now, from a company perspective, we are really focusing on strengthening our operations, our offerings, and our capabilities, so that when the market returns to normalcy, we are in the best shape to embrace all the possibilities that it may open for us.
I know you're strong in with the domestic market. Are there no new insights on the local market as a result of COVID?
Yes. Okay. Let me take that one, Raini. So, domestic travel, as you shared, actually has been a strong, growing, rebounding strongly in this pandemic, and that's something that we have been working on for a while. And I think that's something that we see is going to be a trend also in the future. There's a more domestic travel, there's a more lifestyle, there's more local services. So all this actually builds on the into the optimisms that Christian has just shared with us.
I see. Okay, so let's talk about mobile, because Asia is that's the dominant thing, right? And Traveloka claims, I think, 60 million app downloads, or the most popular travel lifestyle app in Southeast Asia.
Yep.
How much of that is active users?
We cannot disclose the exact number, obviously, but I think mobile adoption has been really great in this region, and perhaps, dare I say, faster than the global average. In Indonesia, for example, many people didn't even experience the laptop or computer phase and encountered their first internet experience via smartphones. They are getting much more ubiquitous and much more affordable. And so in those places, obviously, many of our business do come from the app. But in addition to the device accessibility, I think, I believe that our overall service and offerings can be more prominently experienced in the mobile devices. And I think our customers do recognize this as well, and as such, choose to engage with us more dominantly in the app.
I see. Okay, and these downloads, right? Are they mostly in Indonesia, and also Vietnam and Thailand, which are your two other markets? What about the other Southeast Asian countries?
So-
and what's your target to grow downloads and strategy to expand user base?
Thank you. The 16 million downloads, so actually right now I think is more towards 20 million. That was for Indonesia. So right now our total downloads is about 40 million in the whole region.
I see. So 40 million downloads. Okay. So now all bookings, like Christian was saying, tend to be from the app, right? And the desktop is dead. I mean, at least in Indonesia.
Not necessarily. I think, as I said, there are certain regions where apps are much more prominent, but there are certain. I think the uniqueness of Southeast Asia, as you would probably know, it's not really one market. There's multiple contexts in the different little pockets there, and there are certain other markets where we see a more even distribution of interface that our customers use. Singapore, for example, being a developed country, they have embraced laptop and computer and the monitors, much more advanced before the other countries. And this is one example where our traffic from the web browsers are still quite significant. But we remain true as into our DNA as somebody who knows the localities, with somebody with a global perspective, but has the local flavor down on our hand, right? And this deep local context is something that we want to commit to continue developing for to create the best offerings and solutions for our customers. And I think,
Yeah.
again, alluding to your question earlier, this is what we felt are probably extensible strength that we can bring even outside of Southeast Asia, where similar contexts exist in other parts of the world.
Yeah, but you see, I mean, localization is obviously the key. But how much more localization can you do? Because I mean, I already see you offer local content, as you say, local context, local language capabilities. So, what do you do to stretch localization?
I can answer that first, Alfan. So I think in terms of services, there's a lot of localization required to bring one service to another. Financial services, for one, it's a highly regulated in a different area. With us being a local player, an incumbent player, perhaps in a different context, for example, Thailand or Vietnam, it actually helped us in being able to enter the market a little bit, like I would say, a little bit more smoothly compared to somebody who hasn't been there or not know how the Thais behave, how the Vietnamese behave, how the Indonesian markets behave, right? So I do believe those are still opportunities for us to become even deeply engrossed. And from features perspective as well, there are, it's language is one, but payment capabilities, different payment methods in Thailand. They're different payment methods compared to Indonesia, and the advancement of the banking system in Thailand, Indonesia, it's also different. These are important nuances if we want to really make the booking experience as seamless as possible with Traveloka, which is what we always strive to do.
Okay, talking about Thailand, I think Booking and Sister Agoda are still number one and two, and Traveloka is, I think, seventh, according to SiteMinder's 2020 ranking, which suggests to me that Booking and Agoda are also localized and have come up with, like you, innovative ways to get customers to buy. So, what chance does Traveloka have to dominate the Thai market? Because these
Thank
two
you.
are so entrenched, right?
Yeah. Let me take on that. So I think the many of these rankings actually is based on the location as destinations, whereby for Traveloka we are very much focused on the local customers, like, so which means that we are looking at Thai customers rather than from the perspective of the Thai hotel. So what we see is how can we serve the users or consumers best in Thai better, especially for the domestic market. And we are seeing very significant growth in that area. Of course, I think there's more room for us to grow further. And I believe that's what makes it exciting.
Okay, I think we are starting to, or running out of time. One last question. In November, Traveloka said it expects to break even in early this year, which means you are closer to being profitable at last if it happens. Will you break even this year?
Thank you, Raini. In fact, our core travel actually has reached profitability late last year.
Okay.
While while we will continue to invest in travel, we also want to invest in the new key areas. So I think one thing that we can say now is that it gives us the capability to kind of switch on and off as we like. We continue to want to invest for growth. So that's still the focus. But if and any time is needed, we can turn to profitability overall as a company.
Alfan and Christian, thank you so much for your time. That was very wonderful. Yeah, thank you and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you so much, Raini.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.